Report.
Testing, 1, 2, testing. Chair, would it be okay if we start housekeeping? Please start housekeeping.
Thank you for participating in today's meeting. If attending in person, please do not connect to Zoom or teleconference while in the room, and please silence all devices. If translation is provided, click on the globe at the bottom of your screen to select either English or Spanish. Public comment will be taken after each item. If you're in the auditorium and wish to comment, please use the iPads located in the lobby or complete a blue speaker card as available. If you need assistance, please find a South Coast AQMD employee. Speakers may be limited to a total of 3 minutes or less for all agenda items. Times may be shortened to ensure all speakers can be heard. A countdown timer will be displayed on the screen for each public comment. More time will be allotted for Spanish translation that is not simultaneous. For questions or issues on making a public comment, please call the public advisor at 909-396-2432. That's 909-396-2432. Please adhere to the speaker time limit and treat others with courtesy, civility, and respect. Failure to do so can result in your mic being muted or you being removed from the meeting. Be aware that this meeting is being recorded. By participating, you authorize recording of audio and visual content presented during the live event and consent to subsequent use of the recording in the public domain by South Coast AQMD.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Technology Committee. Well, it's 12:02. Can we call for the roll?
Supervisor Hagman. Mayor Locke Dawson.
Here.
Mayor McCallum is absent. Board Member Padilla Campos.
Here.
Supervisor Nguyen. Supervisor Nguyen. She's online. Okay.
She's supposed to
And
be-
Chair Rodriguez is absent. We
She's
have a
supposed to be
quorum.
virtual. Not sure if we want to check.
She's here.
Oh, okay. So we have a quorum.
We have a quorum.
Great, thank you. Let's start off with our first item to approve school bus awards and execute contracts for the lower emission school bus, the Care for Kids, and Carl Moyer programs.
Good morning. Actually, good afternoon. My name is Eugene Tan. I'm a program supervisor here at the Technology Advancement Office. Today, I'll be going over agenda item number 1, which seeks approval for awards and execute contracts for school bus replacement projects. Next slide, please. It's online. Okay. So as a background, the lower emission school bus program first started in 2001 with the goal to lower emissions from school buses and to reduce children's exposure to cancer-causing and smog-forming pollution. Since then, the program has successfully replaced over 1,900 diesel school buses with cleaner ones and retrofitted 3,400 diesel school buses with PM traps. Earlier this year, the board released 2 program announcements. The first program announcement, released in February, solicits for applications to replace polluting school buses with zero-emission ones under the low-emission school bus program and the Care for Kids program. The second program announcement that was released in March solicits for applications for the Carl Moyer program, which also includes funding opportunities for school bus replacement projects. Next slide, please. We received strong interest from school districts throughout the South Coast region. And under the lower emission school bus and Care for Kids programs, we received 33 public school districts that submitted to replace 237 school buses. 5 of these school buses, however, was determined to be ineligible because the buses were inoperable. Under the Carl Moyer program, we received 2 school districts that applied to replace 54 school buses with zero-emission ones. Next slide, please. Staff is recommending all eligible school bus projects that was submitted under the 2 solicitations to be selected for awards. The total proposed award is up to $78.2 million to support the deployment of 286 new zero-emission school buses. These school buses we're anticipating to be delivered by the end of 2026. Next slide, please. So the table here shows the breakdown of the funding distribution amongst the 4 counties within the South Coast Air Basin. I do want to point out here again that all eligible projects that was submitted under the 2 solicitations have been recommended for award here. These projects are estimated to reduce 46.3 tons of NOx and 3.5 tons of PM emissions annually. Next slide, please. So as to recommended actions, staff is recommending to execute contracts with public school districts in an amount not to exceed $78.2 million of school bus replacement projects and authorize the executive officer to redistribute funding sources and reassign projects between the funding years to meet liquidation deadline requirements. That concludes my presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for the presentation. Do we have any questions?
Just real briefly, Madam Chair. I noticed this one on the MSRC too. By the time we went through the contracts and, we went out to bids and funded the dollars, the technology's changed quite a bit. Is this pretty agnostic of the actual supplier of the buses? They just get the money now, go out for bids, or, because last time it was quite a bit different. We saw like 2 years between the time they went to RFP and got it, and the things changed quite a bit.
Yeah, Supervisor, the RFP's already been out. This is just now pending board approval for contracting, and then the buses are commercialized, standardized, and, there's not going to be much change that we expect.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I have one question. I'm wondering how many EV chargers are part of this project, or is it just the school buses?
So for every school bus that is awarded, the school districts are allowed 20,000 per school bus awarded to spend on EV chargers. So in the total amount there, it includes the EV chargers.
Per bus?
Yes.
20,000 per bus.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
So so it's 286 chargers. Sorry.
I just want to say that my daughter school district has some of these, and she points out the school buses with the green painted on them. So I just think that's great. So I'm really excited about this project. So thank you for bringing it to us. And I heard someone moved it. Is that right? And a second. So let's call for a vote.
There's nobody signed up for
Oh,
public
sorry. I
comments.
knew I was going to forget that. And I was warned. Sorry. Do we have any comments?
Nope, there's nobody signed up for public comment online and
Or in person?
in person.
Great. So can we take the vote? Awesome.
Supervisor Hagman? Mayor Lock Dawson?
Aye.
Mayor McCallum is absent. Board Member Padilla-Campos?
Yes.
Supervisor Nguyen?
Aye.
And Chair Rodriguez is absent. Motion passes 4 ayes.
Thank you. Okay, let's move to item 2, execute contract to develop and demonstrate zero-emission fuel cell electric heavy-duty refuse trucks.
Chair, I have for agenda item number 2, I don't have a financial interest, but I'm required to identify the record that I'm the mayor of the city of Riverside, which is involved in this item.
Any other? Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, member of the committee. I'm Sam Chow. I'm a program supervisor in the demonstration team. So I'll be bringing to the second item to execute contract to develop and demonstrate zero emission hydrogen fuel cell refuse trucks. Next slide. So the CARB regulation, I'm referring to the ACF here, that still requires state and local government fleets to transition to zero emission trucks. That includes heavy duty refuse trucks. Zero emission heavy duty refuse truck are available in the form of battery electric, such as the one that's shown here in the bottom picture, the demonstration project we had with Peterbilt and LA Sanitation. But due to the harsh duty cycle, battery electric refuse trucks typically have low range, and between fueling, the recharging time could take quite a while. So there is a growing demand from the fleets for a faster fueling and longer range options, such as represented here, the hydrogen fuel cell option. As of today, there are no hydrogen fuel cell powered refuse trucks commercially available to date. So Symbio is a European-based hydrogen fuel cell powertrain supplier. They have tons of experiences in heavy-duty bus and truck markets, both in North America and Europe, and they have proposed to do the same thing on their powertrain system on hydrogen fuel cell refuse trucks. Next slide. So for this project, Symbio proposed to develop a prototype Class A hydrogen fuel cell refuse truck using Symbio's powertrain with up to 150 kilowatts of fuel cell power and 200 kilowatt hour of battery electric capacity. It'll be retrofitted onto a familiar, the Mack LR chassis with the all-electric Healy refuse collector side loader body for residential trash pickup. The truck will be fitted with up to 20 kilograms of onboard storage. That's good for 100 miles of range. The demonstration will be selected with 4 different fleets, one of them City Riverside, as mentioned, for a period up to 12 months. To properly fuel these vehicles, Symbio has chosen to partner with Utility Global. They are a local hydrogen producer and a supplier, and it will be filled with a high-pressure hydrogen mobile refueler to cascade fuel these trucks at different fleet locations. Lastly, the data collection and reporting will be done by UC Irvine, and the integration of the fuel cell truck itself will be done at Symbio's North America Pilot Center in Temecula. Next slide. Here's the proposed project cost. The total cost of this project is roughly $1.69 million, with the requested funding from South Coast AQMD of $800,000. Next slide. Recommend the actions to execute a contract with Symbio for $800,000 to develop and demonstrate the hydrogen fuel cell refuse truck on the Confuse program. That's the presentation. I'll take any questions.
Thank you. You have questions? Great.
Thank you. The refueling for hydrogen has been an issue, I think, across the state. I know Supervisor Hageman's dealt with this in San Bernardino quite a bit. What is the plan for ensuring that should this pilot project be successful and we want to do this? I mean, the Arches program is also taking a hit, I think, financially. You guys are nodding your heads because you knew somebody was going to ask this question. So I'll let you answer.
Mayor, you really hit on the nail on the head with the hydrogen supply chain. We have trucks, Class 8 fuel cell trucks that, right now, if you go down to our station down below, the price per kilogram is $35 or just above $30 a kilogram. And we need to bring it down to sub 10 to really make this successful. So that's, we're trying to get the trucks and the drivetrains in place, but at the same time, we're trying to get the efforts going for the supply chain for hydrogen on the development side. And there's several efforts in part of that. There's new strictly solar fields being built right now. They're going to use their solar for electrolysis to produce hydrogen, and that should help with the price. But there's always this competing notion of, is the demand there if we build the supply side for hydrogen? So this is still a work in progress, but we feel for this demonstration project, we're going to have an adequate supply of hydrogen, and the mobile refueler is going to be very helpful in getting that hydrogen to the truck.
And I know it seems like some other countries have figured it out, though. I mean, when I meet with folks internationally, there have been much cheaper methods of hydrogen refueling and, the electrolysis and ways to get it to go. I met with a company in Riverside that has some technology. They might have reached out to Wayne SPT. They had some way of doing it in a much cheaper way. So it's out there. So I'm just wondering why it's so unattainable for us.
Yeah, we've been speaking with several companies. One I just met with yesterday, I think you're familiar with them. They make hydrogen from ethanol, and the price of ethanol has gone down quite a bit. They use a reforming technique that uses oxygen, and they're very new to the scene, and I'm very hopeful that we can get a project going with them at some point. But we're looking at all these ways to form hydrogen and bring that price down, and it's just not we're getting there, to say. It's just we have to get a few hurdles done. That's what it takes.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I was going to say, just in Wayne, is this our rule or the state rule as far as that 100% green hydrogen production? And that's what I hear from most of the manufacturers is you could be like very close to that and it'd be a lot cheaper, a lot quicker, a lot easier. But our rules to make 100% green.
Yeah, Supervisor. So I think you're referring to the low carbon fuel standard program. So if you don't make hydrogen in a low carbon manner, then it's not really cost productive per se. So right now, a lot of our hydrogen for these vehicles comes from the refineries because they're a big source of it. But there is more and more efforts being made to produce it in a green way because it is potentially very lucrative that way when you have the LCFS credits for the hydrogen production.
You're gonna make me mess up again. Hold on. Do we have any comment online from the supervisor? No. How about from the public?
No public comment.
And I don't see anybody in the room.
I can move.
Moved by Agman. Second. Can we call for the roll?
Supervisor Hagman, Mayor Lock Dawson,
Aye.
Mayor McAllen is absent. Board Member Padilla Campos,
Yes.
Supervisor Nguyen,
Aye.
and Chair Rodriguez is absent. Motion passes 4 ayes.
Great, thank you. Moving on to item 3, Clean Fuel Sales Program Draft 2026 Plan Update. And this does not require a motion, but we have a presentation here.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Chair, members of the Technology Committee. My name is Vasilios Papapostolou. I'm the Technology Demonstration Manager here in the Technology Advancement Office at South Coast. And today I'll talk to you about the draft 2026 plan update of the Clean Fuels Program. Next slide, please. So quickly, as a way of background, the Clean Fuels Program has been funding different stages of technologies, zero emission technologies, in an effort to accelerate the transition from diesel and other polluters into zero emission technologies. So we have been funding the development, demonstration, and early deployment of zero emission technologies, all that in the pre-commercial phase. And when that technology is successful, that all work is successful, then we and the technology is commercialized, then incentives programs and regulation work hand in hand to help spread the technologies and scale those systems and technologies in the zero emission sector. Next slide. So why do we do all this? In our 2022 Air Quality Management Plan, we're showing that we have a major need for emission reduction, NOx emission reduction. As we know, our basin is in an extreme non-attainment for ozone, and one of the major contributors to ozone formation is NOx. So we really need to reduce ozone by 83%, as shown here on the bar graph. And one of the major contributors to NOx emissions is heavy-duty trucks, the goods movement sector, and in particular, medium and heavy-duty trucks. So that's where our big focus is. Next slide. So this is a busy slide here. I'll walk you through it. For 2026, we're showing here the proposed, desired, if you will, clean fuels funding distribution. Upper right corner, this is a total of about $32 million coming from the Clean Fuels Program to support development, demonstration, and deployment of zero-emission technologies. Collectively, the three main categories, the larger categories in this pie chart, zero-emission infrastructure, electric vehicle technologies, and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, comprise 75% of the total amount proposed, and that would really help reduce the NOx emissions in our region. So for the zero-emission infrastructure, to give you an idea about how that looks like, that $10 million, $8 million, and going back to Mayor's question earlier, we're looking at bringing in projects that amount to $8 million for hydrogen refueling infrastructure work and $2 million for battery electric charging infrastructure work projects. You see there hydrogen fuel cells, vehicle technologies, about 19% is going up from last year. What we proposed last year was about 10%, and then, and this is only the clean fuels, but there will be other funding sources, grants, and other sources that we will use to develop more hydrogen fuel cell electric technologies in 2026. Next slide, please. So quickly, I'm going to give you a list of some projects that we are discussing these days. And again, this is the draft plan for 2026, and the team, the technology demonstration team, has been working very hard in trying to engage into conversations, discussions, and projects and collaborations and partnerships. So we're looking at development and demonstration of class 6 to 8 medium heavy duty hydrogen fuel cell trucks. So we're looking at drayage trucks development, refuse truck. You just heard earlier from Dr. Chow about the Symbio project that we will be working on. Class 7 delivery truck, and then class 6 utility and other trucks in those applications. Next slide, please. Also, systems like powertrain and electric power takeoff systems are also projects that we're looking at, always in the hydrogen fuel cell environment. Mobile portable refuelers for off-road applications, microgrid systems, and then also, as we heard earlier, about a company using ethanol to produce electricity from hydrogen. We're also having conversations with those folks to find ways to make hydrogen production less costly as we move forward. And ethanol is one of those ways that we're exploring with one of those companies out there. Next slide, please. On the battery electric side, we will be looking to engage in partnerships to develop TRUs, transport refrigeration units, trailers. We're also having a conversation with a company to develop a battery electric Class 8 cement truck. Of course, we're looking into microgrids. It's a huge area that we're looking at, and it's a solution that will really help electrify the vehicles and the technologies that we would like to see out there. So linear generators for prime power use and microgrid applications to deliver power. Also, we're looking at other microgrid applications that use methanol reformation for producing electricity from hydrogen. Next slide, please. We're also partnering up with universities and academic institutions in general to conduct some studies. We're looking at a study now to implement for tire emissions, secondary peer information from tire emissions. You see there the image at the upper right corner is a control system where popular tires will be challenged under different temperatures, temperature ramping experiments to better understand the emissions from tires as we go up in temperature. Another study we're looking at is an on-road brake tire wear particulate matter and gaseous emissions using 3 different tracks: light-duty battery electric, Class 8 diesel track, and Class 7 natural gas track. And the image on the bottom right shows the tire sampling system that may be used with that study to capture brake and tire wear. Another study is to monitor ammonia and nitrogen oxides for on-road emission sources near freeways and other on-road, near roadway sources. Next slide, please. So this is the plan distribution comparison, if you will, between 2025 and 2026. Again, this is a draft plan, and we will be finalizing in the next several weeks before we go to the board in March of 2026 for the final approval of the final plan update. So as I mentioned earlier, we will be having an increase in what we would like to see funded by the Clean Fuels Program, the hydrogen fuel cell vehicle technologies, going from 10% up to almost 20% for 2026. The electric vehicles also, we would like to further support. And of course, zero emission infrastructure is of major interest and focus in our work for 2026. As you see there in the right side of the bar graph, we have a decrease in the health impact studies, and that's due to now having supported with funding the MATE-6 study, which has kicked off and it's ongoing. So now that all that funding has been provided to those folks for the MATE-6, and that's why you see that decrease between 2025 and 2026, where there is no plan for, as of now, draft to further support MATE-6 in 2026. Next slide, please. So next steps, as I mentioned, we need to finalize the 2026 plan update in the next several weeks before we go to the board in March. Pursue development, demonstration, and deployment of hydrogen fuel cell and battery electric vehicles, medium heavy duty trucks. Pursue the implementation of supporting hydrogen refueling and battery electric charging infrastructure, and support research on zero emission technologies in partnership with institutions. And that concludes my presentation. Happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have one question.
I'm full of questions today. I'm sorry. Do we have any linear generators here in South Coast AQMD? Do you know? Yeah, within the, I mean, just within our regulatory area.
Yes. I don't know if you were here for the Prologis presentation, but they did show that one of the charging locations they have, they're using 10 linear generators completely off grid to charge up to 96 trucks at one time. You know, this is coupled with battery storage also. And there's several generation, like backup generation units, and even I think a couple of prime generation units in place for stationary refrigeration units like grocery stores.
Okay, great. No, I didn't see that. So good. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? How about online? Do we see anything? No. Okay, well, no vote. So thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
All right, item number 4 Charge Opt data-driven planning platform for truck charging networks and truck battery electric fleets. This also is a non-voting item, but we'll have a presentation.
Hello. Hello, Supervisor, members of the committee. My name is Jonathan Shi. I am the founding software engineer at AmpTrans. I'll be presenting our work on Charge OPT, data-driven planning platforms for charging networks, truck fleets, and power systems. And our work aims to provide a platform to unify the electrification effort in California. Next slide, please. So, the transition to medium-duty and heavy-duty vehicle electrification is stuck in stalemate. Fleets want to electrify, but they hesitate. The charging network feels uncertain, and the costs are high. Charging developers want to build up that network, but they hold back too. They do not know when or where demand will actually show up. And utilities, the backbone of it all, hesitate to invest in grid upgrades without clear signals of when new load will arrive or how much capacity is needed. Each stakeholder is waiting for someone else to move first, and the result? Billions of dollars in stranded assets in a classic chicken and egg problem. But if we can align these three forces, fleets, developers, and utilities, around shared data, planning, and incentives, the cycle of hesitation will turn into a cycle of acceleration. The key here isn't just technology, it's coordination. Next slide. Our solution, the Charge OPT platform. Charge OPT breaks the stalemate by giving fleets, developers, and utilities a shared source of truth. The platform will integrate shared background data, truck traffic, charging infrastructure, power system, and policy to support coordinated planning. This will create one unified planning environment for every stakeholder to take action. With Charge OPT, every stakeholder gets a dedicated module designed for their needs. Fleets can identify and plan electrification timelines with confidence. Developers can target high-value locations backed by real demand data. And utilities can forecast load growth and prioritize grid upgrades efficiently. Regulators will also gain visibility into emerging demand, infrastructure gaps, and equity outcomes, helping shape smarter incentives and permitting frameworks. So instead of waiting for one another, these stakeholders can now plan together, turning uncertainty into coordinated action. Next slide. As the first deployed module of Charge OPT, our fleet module empowers fleet operators to evaluate and plan the transition to electric, medium, and heavy-duty trucks in a way that is practical, cost-effective, and aligned with regional goals. Our module will support fleet owners in evaluating the feasibility and economics of transitioning to electric, medium, and heavy-duty trucks, answering the important questions. Where will I charge? What truck should I buy? And will it be reliable and affordable? Next slide. So this is a screenshot of our fleet module. Fleets will follow our easy input process where we receive route information as well as potential depot locations that each fleet owner wants to install behind the fence charging at. We will use all of the data to answer three main questions: where to charge, what to buy, and how to operate. So we'll also build a complete analysis of each fleet situation, providing customized and flexible case studies that would normally take weeks to complete. Next slide. This is a screenshot of an example of our analysis. The output will give a complete financial, operational, and environmental assessment of the fleet's electrification potential. Right off the bat, we'll be able to tell each fleet how much they can save up in a 10-year period, as well as how much their cost per mile will be reduced. In addition, we'll also be able to tell them how many routes they should run on electric battery trucks, as well as how many chargers to install at potential depot locations. We'll also give them a financial breakdown of their return on investment, giving them a break-even point within the next 10 years so they can act with confidence. This transparency will build confidence among fleet owners to begin the transition and will also generate valuable insights for the other stakeholders, utilities, and policymakers on when and where new charging demand will occur. So to accelerate deployment in Southern California, we're providing complementary analyses for fleet operators within the South Coast Air Quality Management District jurisdiction. Next slide. Our next module is our charging station planning module. The charging station developer module will equip developers with data and insights needed to evaluate appropriate land parcels for electric and medium and heavy duty truck charging stations. Developers face uncertainty. Where will demand be? What sites will maximize utilization, and how much capacity is truly needed? And is the power grid even ready? Next slide. This is a screenshot of our charging station module, and the module will answer those questions by integrating relevant data surrounding each land parcel. So as you can see in the screenshot, we'll have highlighted the SC AQMD jurisdiction, so we can see which parcels will fall in the SC AQMD jurisdiction. We'll also identify existing charging infrastructure to identify underserved areas or to see where to avoid competition. We'll also identify relevant trucking infrastructure, such as warehouses, intermodal terminals, and service centers. In addition, truck traffic and hotspot locations are also a data layer so that developers can see where trucks frequent, and most importantly, grid information to examine the feasibility of installing a new charging station at that location. So for each land parcel in that pop-out, we'll have all of the circuit lines. This is data obtained from South Coast Edison and LADWP. And we'll be able to see the hosting capacity of nearby circuits for each land parcel. This will help charging station developers identify optimal land parcels for their next charging station. And by providing a pre-vetted list of parcels, the module accelerates planning and supports efficient permitting and ensures that new charging infrastructure aligns with regional electrification goals. For government stakeholders, this means smarter incentives, more efficient permitting, and better alignment between infrastructure build-out and electrification targets, so helping to ensure that public and private resources are used effectively. Next slide. We've rolled out our fleet and charging station module, and we're currently in development of the last two modules, the utility and regulator modules in our timeline. And we plan to have those launched in April of 2026. Thank you. I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you for that. Do we have any questions? Take it away.
Wow, this is great. It's wonderful. I mean, anytime when I talk to folks who are entrepreneurs and they're looking for projects to do, I always ask them, well, what problem are you trying to solve, right? And like when you come to an agency or you come to a group and you are able to provide a solution to something, I think is great. And this is something that's going to be very helpful. UCR did a study where they were looking at I think gaps in charging infrastructure, and I'm assuming that you worked with them. We funded that. I think AQMD funded
Yeah, Mayor,
that.
sorry, I provide some context on this presentation.
Okay.
So Jonathan is working with Professor Nanping Ye at UC Riverside in Department of Electrical Engineering. Nanping is online, but I believe he's in Spain right now for a conference.
Okay.
So Jonathan was able to join us today. But yeah, this is in collaboration with UC Riverside, and this is supported from our funding.
Yeah, I mean, that study's not complete yet, right?
I think you're referring to this. Well, Nanping's he's done a lot on the study. I think that's all published.
Okay.
And I wanted to also note what Jonathan showed. He says it will be able to do this, but they are very, very far along. And I think the next thing, if anyone's interested in a demo, they'd be happy to provide a demonstration of this because they can do that. We didn't want to chance it with our agenda and go in too long.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I guess that the study was done. I'm looking at Andy, I think, my consultant. Yeah, I was confused about the study. So, okay, I think I have seen it. So, but this is great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Great work.
Thank you. I had a question. Is it live yet?
Yes, our fleet and charging station module is live.
And it's free?
Free to use for everybody, like SCAQMD partners and anybody who operates within SCAQMD jurisdiction.
And how often will the data be updated?
Ideally, frequently. We don't have a built-out pipeline yet, but all of our data comes from at least within the last year.
Wow.
So most I think our least updated data set on record is probably, I think, from 2024.
Oh, that's pretty recent. Do you have any plans of adding additional layers?
Yes, so there is a additional layer in our charging station module, which shows utility service maps. So we have a utility overlay so they can see so for the charging station module, developers can see which utility will fall, each land parcel will fall under. So for example, for the circuit data in particular, thank you. So thank you for the visual. So in the circuit data in particular, we pull the circuit data from SCE and LADWP,
Mhm.
but there are municipal
There's more.
regions that we don't have the grid data for, but we can tell the developers this will fall under like City of Riverside, for example,
Mhm.
and identify different utilities for each land parcel.
Great. How are you promoting this? Are you doing other presentations?
Mostly through AQMD.
Just AQMD, okay.
Yeah.
You should work on that. You
Yes.
should promote this. It's great. This is a lot of work too.
Yeah.
So congratulations. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, public comment. No public comment. Okay. Well, thank you. Item 5 is other business. Is there other business? No? Okay, and item 6, public comment. See if there's anybody interested. I'll give it a couple minutes. None? Okay. Well, that was great. Great meeting. My first chairing position or chairing duties. Our next meeting will be Friday, November 21st. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.